What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 3. So this episode we will be concluding our early runaround to get you guys your best possible start. Now, picking up in Caled, we're about done with our runaround here. There's one fire Ash of War I want to get you guys around the outskirts. So now remember, this is not so much a legacy dungeon, but it is a main castle with a main story boss. So we don't want to do anything here, but there are a few items around the outskirts that we can easily enough grab to help everybody out. And just make sure we have something for everybody. As, you know, we did recommend a build, but there's going to be a lot of different build styles going through the game. I want to make sure we got something for everyone. So either way, with the impassable Great Bridge, there's going to be catapults being blown at you. So what you want to do is get to the far left, wait for that to come down. Now when it comes to the next one, just watch for them and jump the opposite way. And the third one shouldn't be anywhere near you usually. You see how it just flies right over your head. So from here, what we're going to do is we're aiming straight for this tower. We're not fighting anybody, like I said. We don't belong here. Just want to make sure we get you guys a couple items. That's it. So going behind the tower, we can pick up another smithing stone. Be right here. Then we're just going to curve around. Then when we come out of here, we're going to shoot to the right and aim for the cliff. Now, there will be a ballista that fires at you. I know it seems like a lot, but it is very manageable. It's not going to hit you. See that? It just fires right behind. Now, what we're going to do is aim for that main gate, but instead of going to the gate, we want to go to the cliff to the right. Because once you get over here, you're buried in enemies. There's actually a really big troll that's going to drop down right there. But we're going right for this rock, so this is not going to bother us, right? So as soon as you get here, I'm trying to go slow enough to, everyone follows along, but as soon as you get to the end, you're going to see a drop here, or a drop down. Now this guy we're okay to fight. I mean, it's just one guy. It's probably the weakest guy here on top of that, so probably what, three, 4 hits. Nothing too crazy. Then we can drop right here. And this will get you a smithing 6. These don't come for a long time. Just get one here, get one there. This is going to add up and, get you guys a higher upgraded weapon sooner than you probably would just doing the main content, right? Now what we're really after here is going to be an Ash of War, because I want to make sure everybody has options. So if you're doing a faith build, we're going to get you guys a fire Ash of War. Then we'll also pick up a frostbite Ash of War for intelligence builds, making sure, like I said, everyone's got something. So once you got your smithing 6, we're going to drop down. If you want to take out the guys here, it's just like bats and a few foot soldiers from this point. So there's really nothing, too crazy. All we're really doing is just scaling up the mountain here. Now, if you want to fast travel out, probably you're going to need to kill these guys so you can. But like you see, just a couple swipes, that's it. We have no upgrades to our weapon or anything just yet, so should be that simple for everybody. Now, as soon as you get to this corner, stop. Because for one, you're going to see this gap. Now, the second thing, all the way right there, I just locked onto it, that's the scarab. That's what we're after. So there are enemies here. If you get killed, doesn't matter. We haven't even started the game yet, guys, right? So any runes we lose, we don't care. We just want the items. Now, this is higher level. So you might take a little bit to put down. That'll get you your Ash of War Flaming Strike. And you may just be able to run away from this point. It's actually a super good great sword in this castle. I'd love to run up and get, but it becomes a point where you're doing too much. We're just trying to use the open world to our advantage a bit. Like I said, I don't want to go too far with it. We're not trying to do OP builds and all that crazy stuff. We're just trying to get you guys some starting items. But with that, we are fully wrapped up with Caled, so now we can jump back to Gatefront. So how this works is, if you just tuned in, especially because we did touch on this before, but pretty much there is a big mountain. Now there's 3 regions below. You're going to have Caled, Limgrave, and Liurnia here, right? Then that mountain is going to be your cutoff point, because that's the whole back half of the game, right? So what I want to do is just get you guys all the map pieces and stuff like that. So Liurnia will be our last zone. So what we're going to be doing is heading from Gatefront. Once again, we're not worried about any of the items. We have to fully go through, clear all of our areas. So for now, we're just going to pass most of this stuff. He does have a good shield. I'm going to see if we can maybe get a drop. Come on. Nope, just some bolts. Worth the shot, worth the shot. Alright, so just ahead for another golden seed. Then we're going to keep on going. these guys will spawn in. I mean, we're back to the starting area, so, you know, they are on your level. If you feel like you need to take them out, go for it. I think we'll be fine. Now, if they get in your face here, go for it, right? Take them out. Don't let them dodge you any shit. So from here, this little hut is going to grab our attention for a second because we can grab a stone sword right here. And then this is a pretty important NPC. She's actually going to lead to, she's going to become the NPC to upgrade your spirit summon. So very important. Now, talking to her now, she's just giving you a little bit of lore and backstory. You're going to get a few things. For one, the gesture you just saw. But as you exhaust your dialogue, you're also going to get a spirit. Now, the spirit's actually for kind of like a hidden puzzle, very, very, very late game. But you do want to make sure you have that. Okay. So as soon as you have that, just behind, you're going to go on down. And you almost get a fork in the road here because you have this building. There's something at the top and there's something at the bottom we want. So from here, what we're going to do is go to the top portion first. And we're going to take out Mr. Troll. So we showed you guys how to take out the golem, 2 charged heavies, and then a critical on the chest. Well, the Troll's similar, but the critical spot on him is actually going to be his head. So a couple charged heavies if you can get them off. Some weapons are easier than others. We're going to target his head. Go through it again. Charged heavy. Oh, blood loss got him. No, that helped. You know, that helps. Made things a little bit easier. But right here over your next tier, your Flask of Wondrous Physic. Now what we want to do is go back downhill, but this time swing to the left around the structure. So this will actually take us to another NPC that does play a part in get your platinum. His quest won't start for a long, long time. However, the first time you run into him is right over here. So as you take this road, on the right hand side, you're going to see another little hut. This is Bernal. Now you could, right now, you can kill this guy if you can. You know, you can fight him right now. Get a pretty nice armor set. Remember I told you guys, armor sets don't come for a really long time usually, right? And you can also get a legendary ornament. So there are, you know, a certain amount of legendary weapons in the game. He will drop one of them. If you do this, you will miss out on his quest line, which leads you to what I consider to be the best looking armor set in the game. So do keep that in mind. But if you're worried about not finding him in his last location in game, which is hard to find, you could make sure you get the platinum by, you know, taking him out now. But like I said, you'd miss a really nice armor set. Now right now, talking to him, he's going to say pretty simple Ashes of War, which can be nice. So my faith holds firm. Learn skills. Only thing I really want is no skill. I know it sounds like a waste, but sometimes you get a shield that you may like, comes with parry, and you might want to play more with guard counters. The good thing about not having a weapon art on your shield is if I hit my weapon art, it goes straight to that, right? If you have a shield with no skill, I can go to my weapon art every single time without, you know, two-handing my weapon. So that's the purpose of it. That's why it's nice. And we're not going to stick with the shield forever, but while we have it, we can go on down to Ashes of War. So no skill. And now, even with my shield out, one-handing, weapon art every time. You see that? So I really do like that setup quite a bit. Now, once again, we're not, you know, doing any content, so we're not worried about anything else. We're actually going to jump back to Stormhill Shack. Now, if you were like doing the main game, what you would typically have to do to get to Liurnia is go around this way, fight a boss here that's blocking your first legacy dungeon, right, your first castle. Then you'd have to go through the castle, take out your first main story boss, then you'd be able to get to Liurnia. However, if you really look at the map, you'll notice a sneaky little path here. Now, there's a bridge that's broken and you can't get across. However, you can go through here and sneak right in. And that's what we want to do. It's exactly what we want to do. Because in Liurnia is some stuff that will really boost survivability, but also we can go ahead and get a lot of upgrades for you guys. I'm not saying you gotta, put a bunch of upgrades in your weapon right now, but going ahead and having them, so when you run into a weapon you want to use for quite a while, the whole playthrough, you will have at least a good portion of upgrades. By the end of this episode, we should have enough to get a somber weapon to +5, which they only go to +10, so that's halfway upgraded, or basic weapon to about +10, which is crazy. Now, basic weapons go to +25, but still, I wouldn't say go dump every upgrade now, but at least you'll have them. You don't have to worry about it. Now, at the end of the bridge here, you're going to get your cookbook. And as we go down, you're going to have to go uphill to the left to progress. However, right over here is another Astral Ward for your shield. So this is another type of parry. There are certain parries in this game that are really special. They actually cost mana to use. This one's called Storm Wall. This lets you parry arrows and bolts. So you're going to deal with that throughout the whole game, but particularly in Limgrave and the beginning section of the game, you deal with a lot of that. So it is nice. And it hardly uses any mana, so it's just, something nice to have. Alright, so as you go, you're eventually going to run into a site of grace, which is going to be right here. Now this is like the top portion looking over Liurnia. So Liurnia of the Lakes. Now as we proceed in, you're going to see this church over here on your left. Now there's an NPC in here named Thops. Now we will do his quest, but this is quite a while away. I mean, it's going to take probably 10 hours just to clear Limgrave, right? However, if you're doing a casting build,
then, believe it or not, for us,
you're going to exhaust his dialogue. He's going to ask for 10 rooms. Give it to him, guys. It's 10 rooms. I mean, you can kill a sheep and get like 40. So, study sorcery. It's got a few things here. So if you did with the pure casting build, astrologer, you started with both of these already. Now, if you did the melee mage was the prisoner, you did not get glintstone arc, and this is nice. It's kind of like an AOE early game. It'll definitely carry you for a bit. Then he also has starlight, so it creates starlight to illuminate surroundings. Not the best spells, but it is options. You have to start the game. So go ahead and grab that. Right over here on your right hand side will be a spell book. Once again, you could wait to grab this when we do the area, but this is going to help mage builds and get you guys some spells. Now there's a NPC we're going to turn that into. We're not going to find this NPC for I think 2 more episodes, but it's not far. You're talking about a 100 episode walkthrough. Episode 4 or 5 you'll be able to turn those in, so it'll help you right at the start of the game. Now from here we're just going to blow through this camp, and so we're just not here yet. Going on down to your next site of grace, and then your next merchant. Now this merchant's going to have something we want. So I told you guys you could have grabbed the lantern back in Weeping Peninsula, but I planned on getting it here as far as our notes. It's just for us, I had us picking it up, because you should have a few souls going through, just killing the guy here, killing the guy there. So 1800 costs the same price. And we also want to pick up all 3 smithing tools to help, do what we're trying to do. He's got the S-Stock, he's got a shield, he's got, well, obviously, astrologer starting set, and he's got this hood, if you guys, want that. Now, if you pull up your map, you're going to notice your map fragment is right here. So that's obviously going to be our next spot. So there are going to be a few guys guarding this. With that being said, you can pull them away, or you can just smack them. They're not crazy enemies, but there are a lot of enemies here. So this is the mage zone, the magic zone of the game. So that's what you're going to be doing. A lot of bullshit, right? A lot of bullshit. So as mentioned, you have 2 options. You can try to take them out, or you can just pull them away. That'll let you grab your map. So once you got your map, we're just going almost a perfect northwest heading. Eventually, There you go. You'll see a side of grace. Now we are going to want this. So stick in northwest. In fact, we're going to be sticking northwest for the foreseeable future. You are going to notice a teleporter device right here. We're going to use that, but not yet. Right now, what we want is the upgrade bats, and then we're going to keep pushing. So just look for northwest on your map. And as mentioned, it's pretty much just perfect northwest heading for quite a bit here. We're looking for an island next. There it is. Nope, that's... well, yeah, we can go ahead and grab the side of grace. Not the island I was thinking of, but it does give you a, you know, fast travel point for later. Alright, so back to northwest. There it is. So if you kept a northwest heading, and we don't have this map yet, so you can't really see it, but like I said, if you just kept northwest heading from, you know, back at Lascar Roads, as you see, it's just perfectly lined up. Now, if you did get that side of grace, you can just kind of zoom in. Perfectly lined up, right? And this is the island that I was talking about. So over here is going to be your dexterity knots here. So anytime you see faith, strength, dex, or whatever for your knot tiers, that goes in your Flask of Wonders Physic, and it gives you +5 to those stats for a few minutes. So it helps you reach, like, maybe spell requirements for a boss fight temporarily, or just gives you a little bit extra damage for a few minutes for boss fights. There are advantages of that, you know, of that tier. We're doing the same thing, guys, pretty much just heading west. Until you see this right here. And you notice it's still kind of northwest. It's just, I guess it's more north than west, but it's still, you know, northwest heading. Now you can't miss this church. It's an island right in the middle, right? So, as you see, it's still just northwest, all the way there. So, like I said, I shouldn't miss it. But either way, you're going to see this church, a busted up, ruined church. And what you want to do is just swing around the back side of this church, and there's going to be a scarab. Now, this scarab is going to help out quite a bit. It does not have a high requirement. But this is an incantation that gives you a very solid weapon buff. It's going to add fire and blood buffs to your weapon. Absolutely phenomenal. It's not so much as like a boost to damage, it's more of just building up blood loss and targeting enemies' weaknesses if they're weak to fire. Either way, once you have that, back to Lascar. I keep wanting to click L3 to run on the horse. That's just going to jump you right off. So now, the teleporter I was telling you guys about, that's our next goal. So we're going to use this. Now these are going to jump you all around the area, and it just makes things so much easier. Because you're covering a lot of distance, right? And it usually will put you right near your next map piece. Maybe not right at, but very close. So this is the second legacy dungeon of the game. You know, this is a long, 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 long time away. In fact, you can't even get in here until you find a special key. So, don't worry about that yet. What we want to do instead is we're really just going to follow this bridge around through a little, kind of like a little village type thing up here at the campus, you know, for the castle. And then you notice your map fragment's like right off the main road here. So that's what we want to do. However, as we go through here, there are a few items you can grab. So, get to the bottom of the bridge, we're going to shoot to the right. Curve around. There's one guy right here. We're going to take him out. Maybe we get this shield and some armor. Nope. Got a smithing stone. That's pretty cool. That shield looks okay, but truth be told, it's just a really small shield. You want to put parry or something on it. Now, as soon as you get to the split, and you see that guy, we're going to just cut to the left, grab a smithing right here, and then you kind of curve to the right. What you're looking for is this bridge. Now, don't go all the way to the end, but just to the left, you're going to see a rooftop. So we're going to jump over. Take that down for another golden seed. Now we're supposed to have 7 flasks before we even start doing content. So you're going to notice we're at 6, but now it's taken multiple golden seeds to get another. Not to worry, by the end of the episode we will have it. So if you guys want to pull up your map, because the road is kind of broken, you can, but pretty much just heading east. You're just to the right of all these collapsed buildings. Just to the right of it. And you will see your map fragment right here. Even though you don't have the map fragments always show up on the map. You know, there's pillars, so you will always know where to find that. Grab your map, or do a gesture for no apparent reason. You know, whatever you want. And we'll go ahead and rest. Alright, so now that you have that, there's a few things we're going to do. Eventually we're going to get over here to this coast and shoot up. But we still have 1 map fragment to get and some smithing stones. And that's what this has always been about, getting upgrades. So, south, right here, Lucaria Gate. Remember that bridge we initially started on? Well, we're going to jump off the side. So let's put a marker right here. So pretty much, you're going to see these little gazebo looking things, right? So if you really pay attention, there's going to be a circle around it and a little platform here. So we're just going to mark all the ones at the bottom. The order does not really matter. Well, yeah, I guess it does. Let's get a very precise order. As long as you have them all marked, it doesn't really matter for you guys. For me, I want to do them in the best possible order. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Now this one we can kind of just jump back over here for, but for now we're going to jump back to the gate. So on these little huts, gazebos, whatever you want to call them, in the area, there's always like 3 smithing stones. Might be smithing 2s, might be smithing 3s, but they really add up. Now you can go from that side of Grace and just run through the water, sure, but if you notice off the side of the bridge you have that rock. I don't expect you guys to be able to do this, but it's not exactly hard. So if you go right past this little tree and jump, then wait for a long time, very, very late jump. Alright. Sometimes if you slide off, it will kill you, even after you landed, so just be cautious. Oh, there's my phone. Phone just crashed on the ground. So right here, it's going to be your first. So go and grab 3 smithing 2s. Then we're shooting to the right. So the first one isn't really marked on the map, as you guys seen, but it's on the way, so you're not really going to miss it. So there's the second hut. Now we have to be careful for all these guys. Let's see if we can just... Alright, perfect. So we de-aggroed them, so we'll jump back to Academy Gate Town. Yeah, but there is no marking on the map for your first gazebo. It's like right here. But like I said, it's on the way to that one, so you can't miss. It's just a straight line. So while we're here, we're going to run for number 3, then number 2. I guess I'll leave that up for a second, but you guys see it. Once again, you know, just a straight shot. Now there's going to be these really big lobsters, crawfish. I'm not sure what they are. I think they're lobsters, but they are extraordinarily fucking deadly. So, excuse my language, but they are bad, man. They are horrible. When you get much stronger in the game, they're not as bad, but they're always, you know, very much a threat. Alright, so we're just going to head to number 2. So they're gonna shoot what's like a, I guess it's like a water jet type deal, if I was to call it anything. And you have to try to like move and juke around. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Luckily for us, we're mainly just doing a suicide run, so it doesn't matter that much. Now this one's not about upgrades, it's just gonna get us a really nice side of grace for later in the game. Put us where we want to be for when we start doing the Ernia. Alright, so now with all that, we can jump back up to Academy Gate Town one last time. We're going to hit our last little gazebo, and then we'll be ready to move forward. But even right now, if you guys were to look, remember, you need 12 of each as far as getting your upgrades, right? So that's our 6 ones, but ones come next episode. The first thing we're going to do is knock out a tunnel to get a bunch of ones. You don't have to worry about that. That's in the early game. But you already have at least 12 twos, especially the ones we bought. Then we need, was it 9 more 3s? So that's kind of what we're working on. 4s and up, this doesn't come for a while. We're just trying to get 12 of each of these. So that's the goal, right? So one's next episode with their first tunnel. That's already good. We just need more 3s. So that's, that's what we're working on. So right where you see the bridge pick back up again, you already have your marker anyways, but just jump right to the right side of that. Pretty much right here anyways. You can probably see it from your damn side of grace, to be completely honest. Alright, so now we only need 6 more. There's Mr. Lobster. What we're doing for now is just going straight up the bridge, up to the coast. We're already almost 30 minutes in, so we still have a lot to do, but I think we're making pretty good time. Because we're not going to do a 4th episode for an early run around 3. I mean, obviously the first episode we had our introduction, going over recommended builds, and it took up a lot of time in your tutorial area, but, 3 episodes should be more than plenty, guys. So from here, what we're going to be doing is going into the water. And there's some stuff I want to grab here, but we'll fit it into the end of the episode. There's actually an incantation that will cleanse status effects, such as poison and rot. And this is huge for survivability, so we really do want it. But for right now, we're going to do the same thing on the other side of the water. So let's get rid of that. Now, if you zoom in closely, it's really hard to see. It's in the woods right here, but you'll see another little hut right here. So we'll grab that. We'll grab that. But yeah, you're pretty much just going right on the other side of the bridge, right above. If you want to grab the items, go for it. I'm not, because I want to make sure my notes line up when we start doing this area. And if I'm missing items, it's just going to leave you getting confused thinking I missed something. So I'm not going to touch anything. You guys feel free to do so. So just straight northwest heading. So one of these huts is upgrades. The other is actually a transporter. Now what I like about doing it this way is this transporter will send us to the very top of the map, right where our last map fragment is. So it just makes life so much easier. Alright, there you go. So we're only missing 3 3s at this point. We're gonna head for our second map marker. And there's your transporter. Beautiful, beautiful transporter. Everyone wonders why I do that. If you run through the marker and, in the open world, it gets rid of the marker for you. That way you don't have to keep pulling up the map, There's your third and final map fragment. And if you turn around, there's actually a side of grace here, so this makes life easier later on. Now what we're going to do is we want to go that way and get you guys something. But first, if you're going down to the lake, you're going to see this really big island. Now what we want is on the other side of that. And there are 2 towers here that will get you more memory stones. You don't need it, guys. You got like 4 or 5 memory stone slots right now. Your spell slots. You don't even have that many spells. right? You got plenty right now. We're going to save this stuff for later. We still want to make sure we have stuff to do when we start playing the game, guys. But right behind the island will be another gazebo. Be right there. Now, this is another one that's not on the map. I just happen to know about it with spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours in this game. No gestures. There you go. You got 3 more tubes. Alright, now we'll jump back to northern Yarnia Lake Shore. So what we're about to do now is take you guys to a NPC. So when you helped out Blythe with Darryl and got the Bloodhound's Fang, I think it was last episode, or no, it was episode 1. He mentioned a NPC up here in the Yarnia. They would be a good merchant. He's actually a blacksmith named E.G. So this guy can upgrade your weapons if you haven't made the round table hold. As you go back, this is an illusionary wall. Straight back. Make sure you smack that. But this guy will also sell you a talisman if you've done that quest, which we have. So make sure to cover it. So just rest to Diagro. Then good old E.G. will be right here to talk to him.
I presume. Oh, I am an old Koto here, perhaps.
All right. So please take care.
If you come to I am, you don't know how.
Talk.
This territory when the rail after leveling it.
So he's just giving me a lot of backstory and stuff. I will, even though it's the walkthrough, it's like, go here, grab this. This is how you beat this boss. You need this for a platinum. We're still going to give you guys backstory when we actually progress the zone and kind of explain everything that's happening here. But, you know, you can talk to EG and other NPCs, and they will break down the story for you. So if you ever hear to Blythe sent me.
Quite a rare, perhaps he's at any rate. I've some.
Alright, now you will notice, if you go over here to purchase, that this would typically not be here unless you did that, pretty much the invasion event with Blythe. So, Carrion Filigree Crest lowers mana consumption by skill. So, if you're doing weapon arts, that will make it where it doesn't cost as much mana. It's really nice. Then he sells infinite amounts of 1 and 2 Somber, but limited 3 of each of your 3s and your 4s, allowing you to get a weapon all the way up to +4 at the start, being a special weapon. So, that is just absolutely phenomenal. If you guys, you know, want to farm up or pop a bunch of runes, grab that you can. So from here, we're going to start heading towards Carrion Manor. Now, Carrion Manor is being protected by this magic archer. All you have to do is zigzag here. We're just going straight to the gate. If he hits you, just heal through it. I promise it's really not that bad. See that? As soon as they hit, jump to the, jump to either side. Alright. Now you grab your side of grace. Now what we're going to be doing is that's the front gate. You see this lake? That's where we want to go. Not only is there the Frostbite Action where I promised for int builds, we're also going to see this collapsed structure, which is going to give us access to over here. So we got the Fire Asher War for faith builds. Now we're going to get a Frostbite Asher War for intelligence builds, just to make sure everyone is covered, right? Everyone is covered. Alright, so what you want to do is go down the lake. You're going to see a huge invisible scarab. And what you want to do is look for this little rock here, where it's like next to the coast of the rock. Because he's going to get trapped here. And it makes it really easy to get these guys, as they typically can be a huge pain in the ass. There's weight on them. You'll see them. There you go. Can't miss it. That's Hoarfrost Stomp. So not only, does it do an Ash of War with Frostbite, but you can change your affinity so you're building up Frostbite with every hit. Exceptionally powerful for the right builds. Then this is that collapsed pillar I was telling you guys about. So once you take this across, we're going to drop, and we want to go to the right uphill. You see a merchant right there. You guys can check him out if you guys would like to in your own time. we are already just zooming through our time for this episode, so, you know, we'll be getting to it. Let's grab that side of grace. We're going to turn around. Right over here will be your next sacred tier. And we're still 3 smithing, 3 short, right? Which, that's what we should be anyways. Yep, 3 short. So our last little suicide run. All we're doing right now is just running right where you see your finger, reader, crone. You can put a marker if you want, but you just run straight to the main road, to this side of the bridge to get a side of grace. And this is actually going to drop us down right in a tunnel. Now this tunnel is going to get us the rest of the smithing stones we're missing. The next episode, all we'll be really missing is a few smithing ones. So we're going to open up by, you know, clearing a tunnel for those upgrades, then take you guys over to Round Table Hold and actually go over decent starting game choices and stuff like that. Get you guys all set up. Now, this is a nighttime boss. They're nightmares right now. You don't want to fuck, you know, don't want to fuck with these guys. Oh, wrong one. Alright. So from here, what you're doing is you're going to go off the road. It's going to drop down, and there's an airstream right here. We can jump right down, and we can shoot right to this tunnel. So that's exactly what we're doing. Now, right when you get inside, you're going to get the Smith and 3s for short. You may be able to buy some from a few merchants, but I don't know exactly which ones they are. So the southwest corner right here, I don't even need to look, I know it's there. There any of the lakes. We'll go to our marker. As I said, you should be marking the cave as we go. And it is kind of tucked back here, you gotta look for it a bit. Now the thing about these is you cannot fast travel out until you killed the boss. Which can be a little inconvenient. We got 20 minutes to do this and get an incantation. Okay, we should be fine. So as soon as you go in, once again, we're not doing this yet. We do not belong here. Although we probably could do it, honestly. We're not here. Either way, as you go in, these guys shouldn't give you too much trouble. So miners are very resistant to most weapons. Almost every weapon. You need a weapon with blunt, or you need a two-hander weapon. One-hander weapon, you'll just bounce off of them. Well, I guess these guys are a little more squishy. Usually miners are like covered in rocks, and if you try to one-hand your weapon, what happens is it just keeps bouncing off and bouncing off, and it's just, it's not fun. So right here, Somber Smith and 2, and you're gonna see this little altar. What you want to do is jump. You're right behind for Somber 3. So that should have been the one stone we were missing. So you already have Somber 1 through 5. So when you find a unique weapon or a boss weapon you want to go with, you already have the resources to halfway upgrade it, which is huge. Now, once again, this is a suicide run, guys. So all we care about is the Smith and 3s. So we're just going to run straight in. What you're going to do is run straight back. One here. One here. If they kill you, we don't give a shit. Yep, it don't matter. We can just run through again. We're only missing one. Now, as mentioned, if you did not kill the boss, you cannot fast travel out. So you're going to have to ride that lift up. But the good news is it's going to start you right there. That's just quick too. So you're going back. You already did the path going straight ahead. So this time we're going to stick on the other side, right beneath us. And there you are. Just let them kill you. Rider lift up and we are done. As mentioned, there's only one other thing I want to get you guys, and that is Flame Cleanse Me, which is an incantation we could use to cleanse status effects such as poison and rot. So as we're progressing through the game, we don't have to worry about having certain consumables and be a pain in the ass. So this will be a huge help at the start. You know what else? We also picked up our lantern. We'll go and equip that. Now you don't need a torch. Torch leaves you with only one hand. Lantern, anytime we go underground, I can just flip that on. We got both of our hands, right? So it's super dope. But yeah, you gotta make sure you actually equip it. So now that we're out, we could actually fast travel and want to jump back into Gate Town Bridge. Alright guys, from Gate Town Bridge, we're just going straight up the coast, but on the top portion this time. This is going to complete our early run around. So like I said, it's 3 episodes. We've been doing this for 3 hours. I know it seems, like a lot, but with the game this size, you got to remember, most people's average playthrough, if they're trying to actually explore and do all the content, it's like 150 hours, right? So that's not much time to sacrifice to get you guys set up and ready, because if you haven't played this game, you haven't played any Souls-likes, you're in for a hard time. But we can make things a bit easier for you. So I do believe it's actually worth dedicating a few episodes to. Now, there's other stuff to know and do around here, but once again, we're not here yet. So once you've worked your way up and you have picked up that side of grace, you're just going to go behind the hut over here. You're going to see this collapsed pillar. Then over here on the right, you're going to see a little makeshift camp. Now, in this camp is what we're after. You see a little opening right here. I wouldn't tango with these guys especially. But right here in this body, there you go. Flame Cleanse Me. Then while we are right here, we'll go ahead and grab this. Alright, now we want to jump back to the Artist's Shack. Now, I didn't even have this in my notes, but I was just thinking this would actually help mage builds and faith builds out a lot, so I would like to do it. This is not going to be easy, guys. Just to let you know, you don't have to do it right now, but it will help out. This guy right here, he's actually pretty elite. He's from mid-game. He's actually one of the soldiers from the capital. I don't know why he's here lore-wise. He's just kind of chilling, but he is a mid to late mid-game, so as you may imagine, he's not going to be that easy. However, if you lead him with a backstab, you just keep your distance. You see that? You can stagger him. Bloodhound's Fang, no matter what your build, can help you get this guy down fairly easy. Look at that. Get blood loss off. Back up. Use your weapon art. If he hits you, like twice, you're dead. If he hits you even once with lightning, you're probably dead. And there you go. So the first time killing him, we get the guaranteed drop Dragon Cult Prayer Book. Now, once we have that, we can actually jump back to Eastern Tableland. That was the last side of grace you got. Now, right uphill is actually an NPC you can turn in prayer books and spell books to. So if you pull up your map, there's a church right here. Literally right here. They're just going to take the left road and follow it up. Now, as mentioned, this was not in my notes for our early run around. I just started thinking, we had a few minutes left. There's a prayer book right there. I did grab you guys a scroll for mage builds. And this way you don't have to wait a few more episodes to get you guys starting spells for those 2 builds, right? So this is probably going to be more for like pure faith and, pure intelligence. You guys are the only ones that would be close to reaching the stats needed. And you probably still won't have enough, but it will give you options before you would typically have them. And that's the thing. So, like I said, I just think it's going to help. So as you go up here, this is Turtle Pope, or Dog, as some people call him. This guy's a friendly. So there are multiple different people you can turn in prayer books and spell books, so they can teach you different spells and incantations. With that being said, most of them go on quests. They leave depending on what happens, they could even die. Then you lose access to those spells. This guy never leaves. Never, ever, 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 ever. Even
Your
after you beat the
turn.
final
You're welcome.
boss,
I
he is
am
still going to
giving
be
you
here.
my
Go to the
apologies.
Do
DLC,
you
he's
know
still going to
how
be
it
here,
came to
right? So with that being said,
Well,
this is
that
the
is shattered.
only
It is
person
here
you should
by the
ever
mountains
give a
of the
prayer book
earth.
to. And I'll show you the
Oh,
others
you
when
are
we run into
foolish,
them,
I
but
would say.
I would
if you
recommend
find me?
doing it
Unless,
In
because
which
both
case,
of them go to other places. So we did pick up you guys a scroll.
oh, what very well.
Gonna turn
heresy
that in.
all thing.
But another thing I like about him is he takes incantations and spells. Some NPCs only take spells because they're mages. Some only take prayer books for faith because, you know, that's what they are, right? This guy takes both.
Oh, very well. Let us
Heresy all thing.
So he's just super convenient in multiple different ways. So looking at sorcerers, Swift Glintstone Shard is just a upgraded form of Glintstone Pebble that does come out quickly. Great Glintstone Shard is an upgraded version of this, so it's like, you know, super duper Glintstone Pebble, essentially. Magic Glint Blade creates sigil that forms a projectile glint blade after delay. It says it's going to be a delayed projectile. And then he had Carrying Greatsword. Perform sweeping slash using magical greatsword. So this magical greatsword comes out of your staff for a real big swipe, and his thing is super badass. It does a lot of damage. 24 intelligence requirement, but it is very, very good, especially late game. But even in the early game, it holds up. It's super good. Then incantations. The guy you took out was a paladin, so he's gonna have lightning abilities. Now, Blessing's Boon was already here, and then that great sword was already here. Everything else we added, right? So you have lightning spear, which I mean, when you're doing a faith build in like Dark Souls 3, mainly it was like survivability, like cleansing and healing, and you had to wait till you got to like the back half of the game before you even got any offensive incantations at all. But lightning spear is one of the best ones. So it's a projectile. You're able to throw a lightning bolt out to take enemies out from range. It's very, very, very good, very effective. It can be charged up. Faith requirement 17, which is not bad at all. Honed bolt, this you have to be locked onto the enemy, sends one lightning bolt from above. I've heard a lot of people trash it. I actually liked it. Yes, it's inconsistent, it can miss sometimes, but when it doesn't, it works very well. And then you're gonna have electrify ornament, enchants right hand ornament with lightning damage. So this is a buff. You'll be able to buff your weapon with lightning as, you know, as long as you have mana to do so. It only has a 15 faith requirement. So if we had the souls, we could pick this up and, you know, make a paladin build. In fact, you guys got everything you need right now. We've picked up decent great swords. You know, you got armor you could farm from certain, you know, elite enemies, and just a solid great sword and shield with this. I mean, that's a full ass build right there. You could do right at the start of the game. Obviously, there'll be other stuff that's super powerful, but I mean, that's something you could use for a long, long, long time. Big part of the game and be happy. But either way, guys, with that, the last stop we have is Stormhill Shadow. I did promise you guys we'd have 7 healing flasks before we even got started on content. We only have 6. It's because the more golden seeds you use to upgrade, the more it's going to cost. Even though we picked up one, it just costs more now. However, once you've talked to her, and then she moves, Roderica, she moves to the Round Table Hold. So what happens is you get her dialogue, you go to Liurnia and come back, she moves, right? With that, she leaves a golden seed, and that's the last golden seed we need. Yeah, if you don't go to Liurnia, she will she will not move on though. That's kind of the thing. So with that, that brings up to 7 healing as promised. Now we are all ready to go. So starting next episode, we are actually going to pick up from a yield like normal. So now that everybody has the best possible start I could think without, you know, just going completely crazy, next episode starts the game. You know, this starts us doing content. Now, when I do this, we're going to be doing everything, guys. Every single thing. Every dungeon, you know, all of it, right? And it does make sense to start from the bottom and just section out, work your way up. However, right here is a tunnel, which is going to get us these smithing ones we're short to start getting upgrades. So what we're going to do is knock that out, give you guys the introduction to Round Table Hold, which will act as the central hub area of the game. And then, you know, we'll go over weapons, recommendations, and upgrades. Then we'll finally ready to, you know, start going. So either way, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the walkthrough this far, and I hope it has been helpful, and we will catch y'all back here shortly.